Welcome back, or if this is your first time, welcome. Today I will be reviewing the latest episode of House of Dragons Season 2, Episode 4. Spoilers, you have been warned? We start the episode with Daemon in Harrenhal, still seeing illusions of the young princess Rhaenyra. Speaking in High Valyrian, he doesn't seem to understand the words. In his anger, he beheads her in the same spot he once beheaded his cousin by law. He awakes to join a meeting with the soon-to-be Lord of House Tully to no fruit. Later in the night, he stumbles into the hall chasing what is seemingly his nephew, Aemon Targaryen. When he finally catches up to him, he's shocked to see himself in Aemon's attire, and once again he's awoken from his dragon dream, this time by a bastard. A daughter bastard of House Strong, Alec Rivers, speaks to him as if she knows his ailment, already having prepared a mixture of animal blood to ease him. After consuming the mixture, he awakens to a meeting with Elmo Blackwood of House Blackwood and continues in his Edged Lord status. We then move on to Rhaenys and Corlys Velaryon. Rhaenys is getting acquainted with Corlys's bastard son, Alan, until she's interrupted by Corlys. She urges Corlys to honor his bastard children, as if she's making peace with any outstanding problems that have ailed her. Her and Corlys speak as if they are speaking for the last time. She tells Corlys that they have been summoned to the council by Jace and Baela, who are being shut out by the council in the Queen's absence. We then move on to Alicent, who is admiring the old King Viserys' dragon collection till she's interrupted by the Maester. She proceeds to drop the toy dragon, shattering one of its wings, which could be foreshadowing for what's to come later in the episode. The Maester comes under Alicent's order, with Moon Tea giving us an indication that she might be pregnant with Criston Cole's child. At first I thought it might be Viserys' child, but given his condition before death, that possibility now seems unlikely to me. She talks to the Maester about what he thought of Aegon as king, and if he truly believed that those were the wishes of King Viserys. In an answer that is not an answer, he does not answer, leaving the Queen to sit alone with her thoughts after just killing the babe, which sat inside her stomach. Moon Tea, by the way, is a poison that, if given too much, could take the life of the person who drinks it. But given just the right amount, it works as a plan B. We then go back to the Council of the Blacks, which, to be honest, was kind of the most boring part of the episode, even though this was an amazing episode, one for the books. They sit and argue back and forth about the next steps now that the Queen is not with them, talking about Criston Cole's victories during the war and how it's only emboldened him. The Blacks know the Greens do not plan to slow down, that they will soon attack Harrenhal, and that they must send a dragon to stop Criston's army. As they continue to decide what to do and whose dragon to send, the Queen returns. Understanding the urgency of the situation, she resolves herself to ride out with her dragon and stop Criston from advancing. However, this decision is protested by the entire council until Rhaenys steps forward and accepts the challenge, knowing this could be the last time she flies out to battle. The Blacks decide to send their most decorated dragon rider. We then move on to Criston after another successful battle, beheading the men who refuse to bend the knee and accepting the ones who do into his own army. He receives a raven from whom no one can say yet, but it seemingly gives Criston his next move. We then switch to the Council of the Greens. We see Aegon not being given the respect of a king, as his councillors do not advise him accordingly, and his brother and his hand plan the next moves without the say-so or authority of the king, which noticeably angers Aegon and sends him into a rant which is quickly snuffed out by his younger brother, exchanging dialogue in High Valyrian. The king, being a fool and not devoted to his studies, is at a loss for words and humiliated in front of his entire council. Later, he leaves in an uproar, knowing his younger brother has once again upstaged him. He goes to his mother for comfort, but she provides little to none, only reminding him of the failure he is, and if he truly wants to help the realm, to do nothing but allow his advisors to win the war for him, which seemingly was his last straw. We go back to Criston Cole, who is rallying his men for the next battle. We see Alicent's brother, who still hasn't grown fond of Criston, doubting the plans he has come up with. In Criston fashion, he calls him a coward and tells his men to ready for battle. We then get into the best part of the episode. We see Rhaenys and Aegon prepare for battle, both in two different fashions. Rhaenys, as if this is a war she will not come back from, and she is completely ready and preparing herself for any and all losses. And Aegon, who gets drunk and seemingly thinks this is all a game and that he is destined to win. We see the battle commence as men fight on the ground, arrows being shot, horses falling, and men getting cut down like butter. It's seemingly all loss for the supporters of the Blacks. Still, up in the sky they see it, a dragon, not just any dragon, but the Red Queen dragon and her rider Rhaenys. The Blacks' army feels saved and thankful. In the distance we see Criston give a sign to his men, which sounds the horns. Even further off in the distance we see Aemond lying in cover, waiting to strike. As he gets the signal, he readies Vhagar for battle until he sees overhead another dragon, a gold dragon. A dragon that belongs to none other than his brother, the king, Aegon, first of his name. Aemon is visibly angry, telling his dragon to fly back down, allowing his brother, the king, to fight the Red Queen alone. The battle between the Gold Dragon and the Red Queen commences. The difference in experience and size is telling immediately. Aegon shouts Dracarys, sending a pool of fire at Rhaenys and her she-dragon. A mistake. The Red Queen uses the flames as cover and dashes downward. Unable to be seen by the Gold Dragon, they are taken by surprise and almost killed before the battle even had a chance to start. The Red Dragon easily outmatches the Gold Dragon, clenching it in its jaws, ready to rip it to shreds and kill it right then and there. Aegon, terrified, thinking he's about to die, looks to his right and sees his brother and Vhagar. He's elated, thinking he's saved, thanking the gods until he sees his brother stop and utter the words he did not want to hear. Dracarys, sending both the Red and Gold Dragon to the ground. The Red Dragon withstands, but the Gold Dragon would never fly again. Meleys the Red Dragon flies once more, looking back at her rider with eyes saying, "Are we doing this? Is this where it ends?" Together, Rhaenys, with eyes fierce as flames, tightens her straps and turns back for one last ride and one last battle. Knowing if she's able to kill or even hurt the giant Vhagar, the war is won. Unfortunately, she could not do either, as Vhagar was not just big and strong, but cunning, and killed the Red Dragon with a surprise attack, ending the Red Queen and the Queen who never was. We then see Aemond land next to Aegon and his dragon, sheathing his sword as he approaches him. No one knows what the brothers had in mind, and no one dared to question. That was a review of the Red Dragon versus the Gold Dragon. Tune in next week for another wonderful episode of In Aegon's Name.